let's bring this June meeting to order. Thank y'all for coming. First thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes and financial statements. Financial statement for May 2020. The regular meeting minutes for May 18th of 2020, and the public hearing minutes for June 8th, 2020.
Is everybody good? I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes. The minutes from the regular meeting from May 18th, 2020, the minutes from the public hearing minutes from June 8th, 2020, and the financial statements for May 2020.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. First up on the agenda, we have Walter Wells, Chair of the Baylor Planning Board.
Good evening, everyone. The planning board hadn't met since the public hearing, so there's really nothing from a new standpoint to bring in front of the board. Did want to at least touch base, let you know that I did have an opportunity since the last planning board meeting to sit down with Sean and we talked a little bit, and Ike actually came in and talked to us too about some things that he's looking at. Coming down the road too, so appreciated the time that Sean, so I'm just trying to at least let him know of some of the things that have come up in front of us or potentially will be coming up in front of us, so he's as aware as he can be. And one of those items too that I mentioned, and I'll mention again here at the board, but from the sewer perspective, we've talked about the potential for some additional building in town by person that owns the old trailer lot and the whole situation with the sewer tap movement, etc. So I still encourage the town and encourage Sean to come up with that, some type of process that any landowner that would potentially be looking at that, the process is laid out so that the town knows what's going on, that property owner knows what's going on and what it's going to cost, typically it's going to incur what cost to do it. I told Sean also I didn't think it did not need to be any cost to the town associated with that, in my opinion. If it's to be done, it's the cost to be borne by that property owner moving it. I don't think the town should have to cover any of that cost. But all that being said, I do encourage Sean and I encourage the town to get some sort of process laid out so that when somebody comes to the town to do this, we're not trying to figure out what to do. Just my 2 cents worth on that, because there is interest in getting started on some additional residential building in town. The other, what was the other item? Lost my own train of thought here. If it comes to me, I may raise my hand again, but for a minute I can't think about what that was. But anyway, do appreciate Sean. Glad to have Sean on board, and the planning board will work with him in any way that we can. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Walter. Cecil?
Yep. Cecil Hawley, President of the Bay Chamber of Commerce. I don't really have much. I saw the storage buildings, Don and Winnie Perry and Eddie May are expanding. That's good for the town of Bailey. And is there anything we could really do about the alleys behind the Southern Bank and back here between Bench Street Extension and Vincent Street Extension? They're really deep potholes. Over here, I mean, they're like more than 2 feet. The trash trucks that are recycling use both those alleys. A lot of water, they're really deep, dangerous. Anybody?
We can get somebody to look at it.
Yeah, they're bad.
Garland, they didn't need to drag it with a box plate.
Maybe put some gravel or something in
Well,
there.
the holes are really deep. They probably need rock and something. I mean, the trash trucks use them, and back here, they're not driving in the alley anymore. They're like bypassing the holes, going out toward the railroad property. And then that grass back there needs to be cut too. The environment used to cut all this grass back here, and they stopped doing it for some reason. But that's it. No, one more thing. I want to do a performance evaluation of the police department. in case our police commissioner doesn't do one. If you do a performance evaluation of an employee, say we do 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 5 being the best or 10 being the best. And Chief Boraski should get a 5 or 10, whatever the best, he should get the best. Really. I mean, he's done a really good job. He's been here a year. He brought the police department up to modern standards. He's tried to update his computer system, his radios, his employees. I mean, he's community oriented. I mean, he talks to everybody. You won't find anybody nicer than him or Grace Ann or, you know, sailors are. If they hire officer sailors are, I mean, they've got a good staff. So really, I think 15–20% to bring him up to competition. All the other counties are really, you know, he's probably not even paid like school teachers around here, probably minimum. I think we ought to put him in on the raise. I heard 20% last time, remember? Maybe let me. This guy deserves it though. Yes. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecil.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
And
I got my moment back. Real quickly, I did reach out to Bruce Nagley with the North Carolina Department of Commerce. Bruce hopes to have a report from the January meeting to the board by the time of the board's next meeting. They are still under quarantine and cannot travel. He doesn't know how quickly that'll be lifted, so he wants to get here to meet with y'all. But he does hope to at least have a report to you by the next monthly meeting.
Sheriff Ireland,
Yes, sir.
you got anything to speak about?
is Matthew coming, Jared, or just you?
Well, he intended to come, but, you know, he was running behind. so-
Okay, okay.
Yo. Sir, all good? Thank you.
Good. See if you have that report.
Everybody should
In
have
front
it.
of you. Yeah.
Mhm.
He said there's really no major issues or interactions this month within the town or the residents. We did take care of 41 total work orders for the town this past month, including the reading of 338 meters, including 19 rereads. We had 1 service turn-on for the town as well as 1 service turn-off. We had 4 water service repairs this past month. 1 water quality concern related to the flushing we did after the well number 2 repair. Again, with the 2 hydrant flushings we did, again related to the well work we did this month. 5 sewer service cleanouts, due to backed up services. 3 trash can recycle bin movement this month. Continued yard debris pickup and some work we did out at the cemetery, including we did spray for those fire ants. You're welcome. We intend to follow up, but the weather's kind of put a pause on that for now. But we'll follow up because we do have some less that we can use. We did remove the tree, for the Finch family, at their grave this month, and then we had 10 work orders for miscellaneous, the flags and whatnot, throughout the town. And concerning I'm sorry, Mr. Hawley, the potholes, we can take a look and attend to those here in the upcoming week.
Good.
See on Vance Street Extension.
Yeah, back here and over there at Southern Bank.
Yes, sir.
That's up to them.
Yeah, well.
I'll put in a work order.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, on the water side, reported billing for 977,000 gallons this month on the water side, and billed sewer 750,000 this month.
All right.
Further questions for me?
No, sir. I don't have anything else for you.
Okay. well,
Thank you, sir.
I would just like to say thank you, Jared. I sent Jared an email the other day with like 5 different questions and comments that we had going on in town, and he was very kind to respond and get me all the things I needed, so thank you,
Yes,
Jared, for doing that.
Thomas, can I ask a quick question about while EnviroLink is up? How are the water meters read? Are they physically read every month by EnviroLink? Or?
Yes, ma'am. Our meter reader has 40 years of experience, and that was one of the concerns brought up, that he assures me, we don't do any estimations. Any meter and residence on the route is read directly each month. Yes, sir.
Sir, hang on one second. Just bear with me. Might take me a second.
While Thomas is looking for that, there is a, EnviroLink does once a year the CCR, right? The Consumer Confidence Report, and that has been done, and it is in the town hall. So that was something that I was gonna say, but since you're staying in there.
Sure.
On the utility bills this month, we will have a little blurb stating that the report is in the town hall, if anybody wants to come review it. I think Joel's gonna put something on the website, so I just wanted to bring that out as well.
I have to find this photo, but I've seen photos of some meters that are unreadable. So whether somebody's, I'll just be honest, it's probably no way somebody can read these meters. And I can get that photo again somewhere. I got
Oh, sure.
thousands of.
You seen it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. But I got 1,000 text messages in my phone from about the last 3 years, and it's hard to find them.
Is it the same address, consistently, or?
Yeah, but I mean, it's no way, I mean, it looks like somebody's took charcoal. There it is, right there. See if you can read that one. I mean, I can't keep up with everything I got. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do.
I mean, it must be real good, is all I can tell you. But, I mean,
Well, I'm not here to make any excuses.
yes, sir.
But,
Yeah, I thank you, sir.
But I do rely on my readers, to relay that information to me accurately.
Yes, sir. Now, we've got a lot of other stuff going on, and this, I mean, I really don't want to beat anybody down by that, but it's the truth.
Oh, no.
About me, so.
Absolutely.
All right, is that all you got?
Unless you have any
No, I ain't.
more for me, then
Thank you, sir.
we'll be here to address anything further.
All right, yes, sir, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, with that ends our, we're gonna open up our public, comment section. Each person has 3 minutes to speak. Groups, only should have one spokesperson. We got 2 tonight. Walter Wells, you're up first.
I wanted to at least throw this out to the board when we're going through this new iteration of the sewer grants. And I deal with it every time I cut the grass, but I live in an area where former sewer grants were done. When the cleanouts are above ground level, you're going to have damage to them. And people are going to hit them with lawnmowers, they're going to run over them with the car, they're going to do this. That's the reason you got 100 plus that you got something to do, to have fixed. I don't know of another town where you go to that the sewer cleanouts are sticking up above the ground. And that's what's happened with these previous grants. So my recommendation is that we look at when we do this, because those things are put at ground level. And they can be put in and they can be found, and I think it would cut down on the issue after the fact of missing caps, damaged pipes, etc. So it's just my suggestion on that particular standpoint. And then I do want to thank y'all, Irvin, Mayor, everybody. Pine Street's been paved, looks great. I know the mayor's had a comment or two with Kathy. I did want to just reemphasize a little bit here you know, I know the money comes from taxpayers, and, you know, the taxpayers includes those folks that don't live here but own property here too. So, you know, the money is, it's put in y'all's hands to manage, and I appreciate what y'all do with it, and appreciate the looks of Pine Street now. It's great, and since we got pine trees out from away from the road, maybe the roots won't damage it any longer, and it'll stay looking nice and good for a while. So appreciate that.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
Yeah. I have a question. Do you think the grass will be cut at the cemetery since it's raining most of this week? Because I was down there Saturday working a little bit, and it's already needs cutting again. I mean, I keep the grass cut around my husband's grave, but
Hang on one second. What day is it scheduled to do on?
It's scheduled for Monday, the week of the 22nd.
Sunday is Monday. Sunday is Father's Day.
So it's scheduled for that Monday. I did reach out to Jared. I don't want to speak for him, but I'll let him. His email stated that he got additional resources, but I'll let him speak.
But it won't be cut before Sunday though, and that's, you
Right,
know,
right.
Sunday, most everybody goes to the cemetery, you know, on Saturday and places flowers.
Yes, ma'am, even though I do understand. Yeah, like I mentioned, Nemo, we did have some recent additions in our resources, and, you know, weather pending, unfortunately, is challenged, you know,
Yeah.
that we're trying to, you know, get all the cemeteries that we do, you know, in good shape, you know, before then. And we'll do our best, you know, to work around the weather. I say that's the number one challenge, you know, we're facing. You know, put that aside, you know, we'll do everything we can to get ahead of it. And,
Doing the good.
thank you.
Another thing, when he was speaking about the sewer taps on mine has been open since I've been there.
Yes,
and there's been 2 frogs that has came up in my commode. And I'm telling you, that's scary.
Yeah, I bet.
It is.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't
surprised.
imagine.
Yeah, I can. I'm not
But, you know,
jumpy anyway.
I know they come through and marked it one time.
I'll make sure we get a clean out. We'll get a plug over to your place. I gotta put it in myself. What's your address?
That's all.
Oh, I see
And
it.
there was a little bit of debris right next to where I live, right, but they put it right next to the light pole, and every time it gets skipped. So it's on Oak Avenue.
Okay.
1211, I live 1211, it's right at the light pole. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ms. Nancy. Okay, we're gonna move into old business. First of all, we have the approval of the 2021 Town of Bailey budget.
And you guys, yeah, I was gonna say, I laid that paper on there too, that has to be approved. Right. That's what we do.
Okay.
So what is this?
Debbie, can you explain?
Those are what funds need to be moved from other funds to cover the overages.
Is that what we're talking about?
I mean, you said these, and where will they move fund, you move these fund these, or this is actually one over?
The ones in the middle in red are what went over. The ones on the right are what account they're gonna be coming from. That's what's gonna cover those funds.
And this is gonna cover us to the end of the month.
That's right.
Thing I see is sell surplus property. I didn't think about this. I don't think we got anything really to sell that's even worth close to that amount. So if we're gonna depend on that $10,000, I wouldn't even have $2,000 there as revenue. Because there ain't nothing we can really sell to, for properties, for revenue. I mean, that's the revenue page, isn't it, right?
Right.
So I would at least take 8,000 out on that. I didn't think about that the other day.
Gotta make it right, I got no choice.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
gotta make that one right. And then amend it.
This needs to be-
Amend the budget. Right, I make a motion to the amend the, what year budget? What is this?
2019,
The 2019-2020 budget. I make a motion to approve the amendments that Debbie has written.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Could I make another comment?
Not right now, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. But we can make amendments to this.
Yes, next year.
Yeah.
Same seat next year.
Yeah.
Same place, somebody.
Yeah.
Same time, same place.
I hope.
So Debbie, on the current budget, on page, the second page, well, yeah, 3. It's, so it's budgeted salaries and wages 42.6, and it went down. The new year was 6. Why is that? I don't understand that.
I was trying to keep everything balanced, and some of our, Kelly and I's office expenses were gonna go over. So we have way too much in the salary, because Kelly and I weren't making that much as the previous person was. So there's a lot available in that, so I just took some of that out of there to cover the other expenses that were gonna go up.
I make a motion that we approve the budget for 2020-21 for Town of Bailey.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have the food truck, stuff. This is the one,
That was the one I
if y'all look at the one that Shelley's in.
The only thing that changed was that one part of your equipment section.
The part.
Which one?
The, right here.
Right here, yeah.
That was the part that we added.
That's it. Yeah. Just, it can't be done by resolution. Well, it can, but it will be enforceable by law. I mean, yeah.
That's what I understand, the definition of the two. So we'll send it to the lawyer.
Mhm. And so if somebody makes a motion on it, it needs to be based on going to the lawyer, you know, getting it straight.
Make a motion to send it to our lawyer.
No, we're gonna approve this as an ordinance, but it's got to be approved by the lawyer.
Okay.
I guess that's right. Sean,
We can ask Sean.
what now? We can table?
That's what I asked, is that what you were gonna do?
No.
Okay, I didn't know what you were
I was gonna
saying.
say, we can vote on it and then upon approval,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, and approval. Hey, this ordinance right here, like if we, what I was told today is, if we do it by resolution, it's not enforceable by law. But if we do it as an ordinance, it's gotta go to the attorney first and then come back.
Right, the second, right.
Yeah, so we still gotta vote on this, and
Now, does it have to go back to the planning board again?
it doesn't have to. It could, but it doesn't have to.
So you're saying we vote on it tonight, approve it,
Mhm.
pending
Approval by attorney.
approval by
Unless you
the
wanna send,
town attorney?
yeah, I mean, I've never been in this situation where we have to do this. I mean, not saying that, I've never had to do it, you know what I'm saying?
We could just say we approve him to, look, you know, like I said, look it over,
Yeah,
and then he has any changes, we'll come back and final approve.
okay,
And that have done, Shelley?
That would be fine. Well, so we need to send it to him first,
yes,
okay, before we approve it then.
okay, so
So
send it
we'll
in.
just send it to him, and he should have it back by next month, and we
Okay.
can,
We can do that.
it'll be.
So we ain't got
put
to
in
make
the
a
book.
motion, not send it to them. Okay, what, okay. Do I need to read this again?
Probably,
I'm gonna read this so it's out there.
because it's changed.
Yeah, so here's the changes made to the, here's what the board has come up with about food trucks. Food trucks as an allowed use in zone districts TC, TCE, and CO. Amend Article 5 for standards for certain uses. Permit required. All food truck operators shall obtain an annual permit for $25 from the town clerk or their designee. Permit application shall require, in addition to payment of permit fee, proof of insurance and documentation showing current approval from the health department of the county in which the food truck is associated. This permit shall be posted in a visible location on the food truck along with the property owner's approval statement. When a property owner intends to have more than one food truck vendor at a time or multiple times a month, the property owner can obtain a special use permit for $500 annually. The owner will be required to obtain all information from individual trucks that is stated in Section A. At any time, the town can request that information be provided to the town. B, food trucks operating in a town-sponsored event are not required to obtain a permit, but must comply with the regulations and fees associated with the town-sponsored event. Public safety, temporary connections to potable water are prohibited. All plumbing and electrical connections shall be in accordance with the state building code. Grease and wastewater must be contained and disposed of in an approved grease receptacle located at the restaurant or commissary. The hours for operating the food truck shall be between the hours of 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. Location standards. Food trucks are allowed to operate on privately owned, non-residential property zoning districts TC, TCE, CO, I, and CI with the following restrictions. Permission to utilize public parking or sidewalk areas must be approved by the town clerk, zoning administrator, and only at the request of the sponsoring business owner adjacent to the proposed location. In no event shall the operation of a sponsored food truck impede or disrupt traffic at a neighboring business. Food trucks shall be positioned at least 15 feet away from fire hydrants, any fire department connection, driveway entrances, and alleys. Food trucks shall not block drive aisles or other access to loading service areas, pedestrian walkways, emergency access, or fire lanes. The food truck shall be positioned so that it does not cause parking or traffic congestion or be in the public right of way or sight distance traffic. Food trucks shall not occupy parking spaces required to fulfill the minimum requirements of the principal use unless the hours of operation of the principal use do not coincide with those of the food truck. Food truck operators are responsible for the proper disposal of waste and trash associated with the operation. Trash receptacles must be located within 3 feet of the food truck. The food truck shall be positioned at least 100 feet from the customer entrance of an existing restaurant during its hours of operation unless the food truck vendor provides documentation that the restaurant owner supports a closer proximity. This distance may be reduced to 50 feet for food carts less than 5 feet in length. A food truck vendor shall not operate the food truck as a drive-through window. More than one food truck may operate on a parcel per day. No amplified microphones or bullhorns shall be permitted as part of the food truck operation. Suspension and revocation of a permit. The permit issued for the food truck business may be revoked if the vendor violates any of the provisions contained in the article. The town's designee police chief may revoke a permit if he or she determines that the operations are causing parking, traffic congestion, or litter problems on the property where located, or that such a use is creating a danger to public health or safety. So we're going to send this to the lawyer.
I know we had mentioned last Monday about changing that to 10 o'clock. per the request of the chief.
Yeah, I
Is that
forgot to
something-
change that in
Yes,
here.
yes, we'll scratch it.
We'll just change that. I forgot about that.
I can change it.
Because I was more worried about getting a paragraph in
Exactly. Yeah, I can change that.
Anybody else got anyone chime in? All right, next up is the walk-up ATM. Walk-up ATM accessory use text amendment. Modify table 203 as allowed uses. Section accessory temporary uses. Add walk-up ATM as allowed use in zoning districts TC, TCE, and CO. Amend Article 5 standards for certain uses. Section 501E.15 to include walk-up ATM definition. A walk-up automated teller machine means a facility to provide banking and other electronic services that are operated by the customer via walk-up access only. Walk-up ATM location requirements. These facilities are typically accessory to commercial banks, savings institutions, and credit unions, but may be placed on other non-residential lots with associated principal structure as allowed in zoning districts identified in Table 203. Allowed use under section accessory and temporary uses. Walk-up teller, automated teller machines shall comply with the following standard. Walk-up ATM shall be placed in a highly visible location, preferably among the primary street frontage of the property. Structures accommodating standalone walk-up automated teller machines that are not inside or attached to a principal structure shall be complementary to the design and appearance of the principal use structure. Exterior lighting shall be shielded so to limit the visibility of the source of the illumination from all site views. ATM shall be placed on a permanent foundation. ATM shall be served by a paid vehicular access that removes the need for backing. In the cases where the ATM is located with an established surface parking area, access ways shall be painted or otherwise designated. Signage shall be limited to the wall signs only and comply with the town sign ordinance. Article 7 signs. Any roof, top, mechanical equipment shall be screened as also serve as a canopy around the entire building. ATMs may operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If an ATM or associated appliance is not used for a period of 90 days, they shall be removed. It just needs to be approved. I think somebody make a motion on this. I don't think so. I don't know for sure. It's kind of hard to enforce.
Oh, it's gotta be, gotcha. But this, gotcha.
I make a motion to approve the walk-up ATM accessory use text amendment.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right. So this time we're moving into new business. So
Or
just-
do you want me to? No, go ahead.
just-
We just have, yeah, they just have to be.
Okay, so we had some openings come up on the planning board, and we've got two names of folks that are prospective candidates, and one is for, we have one open position, full-time, and then we have an alternate position. So, Maria Hughes and Tammy Bissett have expressed interest in being in the planning board, on the planning board.
I thought we had one alternate and two full-time.
No. Here, you wanna look at it?
Maybe
I got it.
maybe I was wrong, I thought we was Ted Tower going off.
All right, David Evans' term expired 3/31/2020. The alternate was, didn't you say, who you got off?
Tyler.
So, yeah, Tyler stepped down. So we have to fill that one alternate spot, and that term on the alternate spot ends 3/31/2022. So whoever gets the permanent spot, it'll be for a year. So,
And Barbara Williams quit too.
Yeah.
She was signed last year,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
then we replace,
yeah,
she's not on this list right here.
okay. She was
I think we
signed.
would put Tyler Brock on there instead.
Okay, maybe.
So,
You need to make a motion for the full-time spot and then one for the alternate. So,
I make a motion, we do, just choose which one. I make a motion, we, elect Tammy Bissett to be the regular member and Maria Hughes to be the alternate member for the planning board.
Second.
all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank y'all for volunteering.
So I just have a couple of things. One thing you guys will see is the recycling spreadsheet. And I know, the trash quotes that we had from a couple of meetings ago, Commissioner Finch asked to put it in a spreadsheet so it's a little bit easier to see, so that's that. But we've talked a lot about recycling, and I reached out to some people. There is no law for the town to provide recycling. The town does get a solid waste tax payment from the North Carolina Department of Revenue. That is $103 a quarter. You cannot speak to anyone at the Department of Revenue and have not been able to for months now. So I can't call anybody to find out if we stop doing that, if that $103 a quarter is no longer paid to the town of Bailey, but that's kind of where we are with that, and we've talked about it a couple of times. Waste Industries' bill for April was $4,525. $789.36 is recycling. So I talked to another clerk who said they stopped offering recycling, and because their little check every quarter was not worth the money that they were spending to recycle. So there is no, even a professor at the UNC School of Government said there is no such law that you have to. So
I'll say this, the only thing, if you go around and notice, there's a lot of trash cans full. And I know, and you can't get another can for $2.30 to be dumped every other week. You can't, and that's a full can. So I think it would help keep Bailey clean if we kept it.
okay,
But that's just my opinion.
all right.
Because on my street, they're full, over full.
All right.
And I think people have already noticed they're starting putting trash in their recycling in it.
Well, that's that, whatever you guys decide to do with that. There's also, you guys remember a gentleman named Alex from American Tank came and did a presentation a while back about tank maintenance. He wrote up a contract and everything. He just called a couple times, just checking on us to see how things are going. He sent an email to me and another quote to Debbie on Friday. And basically, he's taken our contract from $29,250 for the first year down to $10,604. He hopes the adjustment will allow for the town of Bailey to still do, business with them. I just want to include that email that I received. If you guys have any questions, I do have the actual contract, so you can look through that if you want to do that. Commissioner Finch and I went to North Carolina Rural Water Training in Hookerton a couple of weeks ago. They're an awesome resource. We learned a lot of stuff there. With the wastewater plants in North Carolina, there's 325 of them. 28 or 10% are on moratoriums. And Dwight Lancaster is the one who led the meeting. He talked about water is free, but nobody wants to get their bucket and go and get the water and take it back home. It's the treatment and the distribution that costs money. I don't think people think about that a lot of times. Hey, Tammy, you get the box so I can draw, or we can do it later, but you know, we had the deal where we were offering everybody to sign up for email and draft their accounts. We had 18 people sign up for both email and draft, so I forgot my box, but we need somebody to, maybe Sean can draw a name out for us, and that person will get a $100 credit on their July utility bill. We had a lot of people sign up for the for the email, but just not for the draft, but you had to do both. So I talked about the CCR, which Environment did. It is at the town hall, and it's available for review. On the utility bill, the end of the month, I will be putting that the CCR is available, letting the residents know, and we will again start charging for credit card call-in payments since the town hall the lobby is back open now. So thank you, Debbie. So we will charge if you call in to make your payment over the phone. There is a scheduled fee. I guess maybe we can put that back on the website. It's probably there, but that's going to start happening. As of July 29th at midnight, so basically August 1st, is when the town can officially start charging late fees again, if nothing changes. But as of right now, it's August 1st. And then starting July the 30th, I believe it is, residents will have 6 months to catch up their late bill if they've not made full payments during this time. And yeah, so the 6-month period during which residential customers must bring their accounts current will begin on July 30th. So we haven't had too many of those, so hopefully that won't be a big issue. But that's all I have. Does anybody have anything they want to question or make a decision about? Yeah. Hey, Sean, will you? I'll come over there to you. I just need. It is Brian Shaw. He's at 1225 Oak Avenue. So, thanks everybody for.
What percentage signed up for draft? And do you know about?
I don't know the percentage, but we had 18 people sign up for draft and email. On top of the ones we already had. Yeah, there were more people who signed up, extra people who just signed up for email.
You said
Okay, I have it, but I will.
It's too late to get the money.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I ain't worried about that. You gotta be fair about it.
I know you, it's part of your job, I know you.
Hey, what's this about? This about the cemetery? Box? Okay, all right, okay. I didn't know.
Shelley's, yep, that's.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
That's it.
I just saw it here. All right, Sean. Hey, y'all take a minute. This is Sean Lucas. He's our zoning and code enforcement. You know, he's been on here for, what, a month and a half, maybe? Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Right now, Regular Town Board, since I started, we have wrote up 54 code cases for grass, junk, debris, and stuff. I don't speak before, I would say about roughly 20, 30 have already made compliance calls to the town and we clear them out. We have done right at now about 8 zoning cases. The major ones were 6341 Dean Street gas station. They cleared all the signs out of the right of way for me. 6518 Main Street. They got an abandoned car and boat out there, so I'm working with the owner on getting that removed. And he's got some broken windows, so we're working on getting those windows boarded up for safety right there. 6450, we found out the limbs over there. I talked with the guy today, we're working on trying to get them removed. He just found out the environment wouldn't haul them out, so I'm working with him on trying to get them hauled off for us, get them hauled off. 12043 Brock Circle, the trailer park over there. We found some accessory buildings, storage buildings that were built probably without zoning permits, so I'm sending letters out to the owners, working on maybe how we can try to get some of that stuff tore down in the trailer park. And we have did some exterior inspections for the downtown area on some of our commercial buildings, 6231, 6193, 6187, and 6197 Main Street were the first ones that we target. Then what we want to do is all the busted windows, the broken glass and stuff, maybe get it boarded up. And the goal is, once we get it boarded up, maybe we can reach out with y'all permission first. Maybe we can reach out to the Eyes on Main Street in Wilson. If you're ever road through downtown Wilson, there's a guy who puts some artwork. It's a nonprofit. If the town is into doing that and want to do it before, well, first the board wants to do it, maybe we can get this guy to come in and set up some of his artwork to kind of beautify that little area right there when you come through the downtown area. 6303 Main Street, I spoke with the owners on that one earlier today. I met them over there and we talked about it. We are kind of in a little bind right now because they're waiting on the building inspector to tell them what to do. And I met with Kevin up there in Nash County about what to do with it. He's got some ideas for them to maybe try to get that house up to code. It's going to require them to either move or do some fire resistant walls. But I told them today it'd be better off if they talk to Kevin because of course he's the building inspector can tell them what they need to do. So we plan on, if Kevin can do it on Friday, meeting back over there and trying to get something started with it. And of course if they can't, then we'll go into the enforcement trying to get the house put out. The last thing we probably need to do is I need to get with the board and the mayor to find out, do y'all want to do a bid as far as getting towing in here, or just want to contact a few local towing companies and set up a towing rotation for the junk vehicles?
It don't matter to me who does it.
Okay.
So, no, we had already talked about that.
So I'll just call around
Yeah.
Middlesex, Bailey, Wilson, get some guys on rotation, then we'll start taking some cars and trying to get everything set up. We'll set up like a little protocol, you know, must have a fence, must be locked, must have office hours included. I'll set some guidelines for the guys to follow and ladies.
Thank you.
And as far as that, I think that's it. That's it.
Thank you so much.
I guess
Thank you for hitting the ground running.
And if y'all need anything, you know, just stop.
Chief?
Hey, good evening, guys. Got a couple bulletin points. For the patrol cars, all the patrol cars are up to date with oil changes and tires. The 2020 we just took down this past week. We got the oil change and tires rotated. I talked to Mayor Richards and Police Commissioner Killian about the new car, about possibly getting the patch and the ghost stripe on the front and the patch in our quarter panel by Chris Hughes, who did the work on the car. I've gotten really great reviews about the ghost stripes. If we do put the patch on the car, it's not going to cost the town anything. And he'll put it on a ghost stripe, our branding patch. I just think that would look really sharp on the car. It's going to be no cost to the town. But Mayor Richards said I had to run that by y'all, get your approval on that. Programming events, I talked to Mayor Richards again. He's a big fan of doing National Night Out, so August 4th, we're still going to do National Night Out. We've got cattails coming, moon runners, fired up pizza and barbecue are coming. We've got the kettle corn people coming, the ice people coming. We've got a DJ coming. I've got the clown again coming, and I'm working on some other things with Mr. Buller, who's gonna try to get me a couple more food trucks. So the mayor said he wanted to pack the town, or pack the street, so we're gonna try to pack the street on August 4th. And then I'm gonna do the drawing, I'm gonna have a raffle again, and I'm gonna do a 50-50 raffle too. I just haven't decided where I want to donate this year. If I'm going to donate to the school or donate to another cause. But me and the police commissioner can get that and we can determine what we want to do with that money that we raised. Officer updates. Officer Osborne was sworn in this past week, or the week before, and she's done a great job. She's hit the ground running, just like Mr. Sean over here has. She's done really well. Working with me and working with Officer Kane. I have a gentleman here, Miguel Salazar. He's an officer in Nashville. He's a corporal in Nashville. I'd like to bring him on part-time. He was born and bred in Bailey. He went to Bailey Elementary. He graduated from Southern Nash. He's got family that still goes to Bailey Elementary. He's certified in numerous things. And basically, if we were to hire him, he would probably only take a day and he can hit the ground running. Me and Miguel have talked about working nights at Bailey, like on Fridays and Saturday nights when he's not working, and he's agreed that he would work overnights. So this would give us an overnight person part-time. So I think this would be a big help. And with our Hispanic population in Bailey, with him being fluent in Spanish, I think it'd be a big asset for the town of Bailey. So I guess I can talk about him later, but that's Miguel, so I brought him here tonight. General updates. The month of May we were really busy. We had over 70 traffic stops with 43 citations, and we had 3 arrests in Bailey. The job description for the chief, sergeant / corporal officer have been completed and have been filed with Debbie. The policies and procedures have been updated with the performance evaluation policy and quarter annually review template. So we got that done, we got the FTO sheets done, how we can evaluate Officer Osborne every time she goes out. So, and that leads me into the computer situation that I talked to the mayor about, that we really need to update my computers at the office. Me and Gina spent over 12 hours last week at my house with her computer, with her doing this, doing the updates for job descriptions, policy procedure, and all this using our ink and everything. And when Gina tried to send all this documentation to the police department, it's so outdated with Windows 7, it won't accept it. So we have to print it off here, and I have to bring it down here, and I have to copy it with Debbie. So I'm kind of in the bind with the computers. I know you talked about getting grants. And, you know, we're looking at that, but I can't wait for a year to grant to get the computers. I mean, I've got to get a new computer down at that police station. I don't know what happened with the previous chiefs. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but those computers need to be updated. She can tell you, you can tell me. You've been down there, you've seen them. They need to be updated. But that's basically it. But other than that, everything's going great. That's all I have.
All right, we're working on, hey, the money for the body cam, we're gonna pursue getting that body cam.
We got one in today, and we got that donation money, that $500, plus the other $100. I think it cost a total of $7, so only costing us $100 for 2 new body cameras.
Okay, and can you, okay, so you were just talking about policies and stuff like that. Would anybody be agreeing that we need to kind of mandate that everybody wear those body cams, not leave it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Let's
what.
put it in there.
So we got, yeah.
Because
It's in the policy and procedures. What it's not.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it was in there because they're.
The one that I was telling you about before, Police Commissioner Killing got overheated, and that's when I talked to you about using that money.
Yeah,
It went kapooey. I don't know what happened to it.
But
We got a brand new one, I think.
Today.
Yeah, I got a brand new one in today.
I mean, they not only protect citizens, they protect town too. And
Yeah.
If you got them on.
Right. Yeah, Callahan wears hers religiously.
Yeah, I ain't talking about Callahan.
No.
Yeah, so,
Okay,
yeah. All right.
that's all I got.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Shelley?
The only thing I have is we talked about at the budget meeting last week, about upping the grave cost. I called around to several places, and actually our prices were low for town, but now the private cemeteries were much higher than ours. Like I said here, I recommend that we up our grave fee to $2,000 per grave for anybody that lives, for the deceased person that lives out of town. And when I say out of town, I mean, you know, some of these people live in Bailey, but they live the outskirts of Bailey. If their address is Bailey, then they can get the $2,000 grave. If it's anybody from other towns, we'll get the $1,200. If they live out of town, then they get the $2,000. That would be my recommendation. That, as far as the other prices, our prices are pretty in line. That would just be mine. So if anybody have any more discussion?
So, in that note here, it says when determining in and out of town.
That's what I mean. I don't necessarily mean like we live in the city
Sure,
limits.
it's like in
But
town.
I'm saying if you go 1 mile that way,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
still
yeah.
live
It's
in
still
Bailey.
Southern National Bailey.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think they should be considered Bailey because they
Oh, you
live
do?
in Bailey.
Okay.
Yes, because half the people in that cemetery are probably not
Yeah.
town citizens, you know. So that's where I came up with that. I just think that would be only fair.
So the actual route there. Okay.
But that's just my thoughts. To change that for out of town people.
You got something?
Anything?
Well, the only thing I'm saying, in 13 years, we're gonna be paying, the town's gonna be paying to cut grass.
We only have 357 plots left, that's all we have.
And we're gonna be paying, we'll have to take taxes up 10%. So we're paying 65 now, we'll have to take it to 75. I've always thought that if you pay taxes, and that's easy, if that person's deceased and they pay taxes in Baylor somehow or another, business owner or whatever, they get the $1,200.
Right.
But if they don't pay any Baylor taxes, they need to pay the $2,000. Because somebody needs to pay for this 12, 13 years down the road.
I mean, you can make it that,
But that's-
that's just my
that-
suggestion, that was just what I
But
said.
that's the only thing that worries me is, you know, when I'm 65, I'm gonna have a big tax increase if I'm still living in Baylor. somebody got to pay for it, because you know, people get mad about if the grass ain't cut. But that's the only thing I want to say.
So could we consider just the ETJ area, which is like a mile radius?
Well, see, then you
Do
start
that?
getting into too much work for Debbie and
All right.
Kelly.
All right.
That was the
That's
only
true.
thing we talked about.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right.
So, I mean, if you wanna limit it to in town,
I just say taxpayers, because they can just pull the deceased up. If they pay taxes in Bailey, that's the easiest way to find out, ain't it, Shirley?
is that,
Yeah.
I'm asking one of them, cause I don't
What
know.
if it's a kid?
Well,
What if it's somebody that lives in a house with them that don't pay taxes? But
Well,
they still
but you go by
tax?
the
I'm saying the
driver's license.
person that's deceased is the one you
Yeah.
got to count as
Yeah.
the one that pays. But that's just where I came from. Does that work for you? So they pay taxes, does that make sense? Sure.
There's a way around that if the, you know, somebody, there's always a way around it. You know, somebody will try to do it.
So I make a motion that we up the per grade cost to $2,000 for people who do not pay town taxes. And we will currently leave the $1,200 per grade for the ones that do that. I said that backwards. I got it, yeah.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
And the only other thing I had was the quote, the bids for the grass, did that?
Yeah, we got that.
Okay.
We're going.
Okay, we're just making sure, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about the grass cutting right now. I've done a little reading, and I know probably Shelley knows more about this than I know about it, but in what I've read, if we drop public works, there's an issue here. One thing under operating a water distribution, you'll see the read the meters, 360 meters per month. It's also under public works. And you got any reason why they did that, Shelley? I don't have no idea why they did that. So we don't know what it falls under, because it's under both categories. Then breaking the contract on the public works, and I mean the thing is, you know, if we cancel public works, you know, that's going to include leaf and limb pickup, the cemetery, cut grass, operation and preventive maintenance of storm sewer, which that has not been done very well, cleaning the storm sewer as needed, labor and equipment for pothole repair, which Cecil was talking about pothole repair today, removal of dead animals, hanging the Christmas tree direction flags, stuff like that, and then read 360 meters a month is basically what they got in the contract. But for us to sit here and to break that contract, I don't know how you break it. We could have broke it. I know I got on the board back in 2017. We had a 5-year, and I guess I know it never was brought up with me on the board. I guess it automatically renewed, and y'all we didn't ever bring this up to the board or anything.
We tried, we could never get a meeting with them, literally.
Okay. Then we have, you have to give 120 days prior to the term, and then if you sit there and have a problem with it, and then you try to break it, you got to get a independent person to come in and say that it's okay to break the contract from the state if you break it with the water or sewer. You got to have an inspector from the water. And I was sitting reading this, and I was like, I don't know, how you guys want to handle this or what you want to do, but I would have never signed this contract. I would have never, if I was on the board, I would have never done it. But anyhow, if you guys want to read these bids, which, the guys did a lot of hard work, we'll turn it in, and we'll sit there and see who's got the bids, and we can work on that, and we can go ahead and send a letter to Environlink. But we did put a complaint in 2018, and they improved a little bit, and then it fell back down. We can state that in the letter, and then we can say that we want to break all public works, and then we'll have to see where the chips fall. And I don't know, you can give them 60 days, or if y'all want to give them 30 days, but I think what we did in 18 and the complaints we had and the problems that we've had with public works and even what Spring Hope has had, you know, it may, you know, we may just want to, you know, write this up, send it to Trey and see what he says and send it on to him. But it's not going to be something that's going to be awarded real soon. It's going to probably be August, September.
Next year.
Probably next year. You do like Spring Oak? I think they didn't pay the bill or something. But what happened with that?
Spring Hill hired a contractor and paid them themselves.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's not. I mean, we don't have so much money. We don't have the money Spring Oak's got, and but I'll say this: we got to do something because it hadn't got any better since 2018. So if y'all want to make a motion, if we go ahead and send a letter, but we're gonna have to do it and see where the chips fall.
I say we need to look at them bids first
That's true.
before you send anything, but I'm telling you, so the response I got for Memorial Day was it's just unfortunate timing. You ride by the cemetery right now and look at the weeds.
I know.
You look at the building right here.
I know, it's terrible.
It's unfortunate timing every time you cut it.
It is.
I mean, I hate to say it, but here we've been messing around with this and messing around with, and I'm tired of getting chewed out about it.
I know.
And
But I will say this: if you sit there and go ahead and break the public works, they don't give us a hard time. We keep the water and sewer, and if we have to, you know, what we got to do, that's fine. But the thing is, you know, to me, how they act, you know, with us breaking this public works contract is depending on if I want to keep the water and sewer, and that's how I feel as one commission. We can be men, own up to it, say they've done wrong. Let's just break the public works and let's move on. Let's, you know, do the water and the sewer and move on. But I know I'm rambling, but I read this and I really got frustrated today. Because it's got a lot of, it should have been broken in 2017. It shouldn't have been renewed. I can't believe a man signed a contract automatically renews. I never signed a contract like that. I mean, I've never seen any equipment contract signed with anybody, with IBM, Northern Telecom, anybody. So.
This definitely didn't start yesterday,
I know.
it's documented too.
right?
It is.
It goes way back before 2018.
So that's all I got. I mean, we can read y'all, we can read the bids after all this, and whenever y'all want to read the bids, and we'll see where we're at. And but we're gonna have to go ahead and send a letter now and see how things fall. You know, once we see what the numbers are. That's all I
You're
got.
gonna get Trey to draft the letter, correct?
I think that's the best thing to do. You know, one of us sits up there with him, explain all the situations so he can make sure he gets all the information in there. Or either we sit down with all the information and give it to him so he can put it in the letter, if y'all want to do this.
Yeah, I think a summary of the history of mismanagement would
But
be
he-
helpful.
He was here. He was in on the meeting.
I think when people don't, I think they want to make a change.
I know, I do, but it's gonna be very hard.
Yeah.
But if I was Mike, and I was the company, and the business owner, I'd let it go. Because what is the environment? Water and sewer. They're not grass cutting people. And that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Did I say something?
Maybe we get, I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Everybody's got comments. DeJuan, you got anything? Joel?
No, sir.
All right. I don't have anything. That probably takes care of the cemetery as far as the comments with that. At this time, I need somebody to make that motion to